people, events, you know, that sometimes, oh, you know, Hamaker, and then somewhere else they go, oh, a Hamaker wedding. And you think, okay, well, that first Hamaker was probably a wedding too. And so the encoding is not clean enough to actually do cost analysis at this point. It would have to get
Yeah, those are just memos. What you're talking about without a convention is a memo. There is no encoding difference. So as far as these classes, no, that's not correct. Memos are memos, and I get very verbose on memos because then I always know exactly what it is. But as far as sorting, no, it does not affect the accuracy or the searchability of these. So
Peter, if you can be more specific in exactly what your concern is,
yes, no, I will.
Then it will be on finance. Put it on the next finance committee agenda, and also we can discuss it in more detail with Diane.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, independent contractors in report. No.
I met with the folks from Vineman, an event that takes place in Virgil every year, a couple of times. They want to begin a more accessible event down at this end of the river. Accessible meaning a shorter event for weekend warriors versus long-term triathletes. And what they're proposing is to do this event this year on the first weekend in June. The reason I'm bringing it to the board rather than simply booking it is that there is one caveat, and that is that the beach will have been open about 2 weeks at that point. They're asking for it to be closed the morning of the Sunday of their race up until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon so that they can do their swim. They've got, I think, five groups of swimmers that will then become bikers, but they're going to have to run from there up here and check in, get their bikes, and then their circuit goes through paths, comes back here, and they do a run. Once the last swimming group is out of the water, they clear the area. So that's really the only reason I'm doing it. They will be fully permitted. They'd be working with CHP on some closures for brief periods of time down the road and back again, just like they do for the events in Verneville. If they do this event and it goes as well as they plan, they want to do it annually. Because these events are so incredibly popular and they have such a good reputation, the entire community could benefit tremendously because we wouldn't just be a rest stop like we are with the Grand Fondo. We would be the hub. This would be headquarters right here in this room. So that would be a tremendous boon, I think, for this entire community, vacation rentals, restaurants, you name it, for that entire weekend would see a good business. So I want to get permission from the board. Once I have their schedule basically from 5 a.m. until, I think they'd be off the beach by 1 to close the public beach that first Sunday in June in order to accomplish this contract.
Comments? I'll start with a comment. We don't start renting stuff till 11 o'clock, so we basically...
I don't see where that would be an issue.
Yeah,
we're talking about something really spectacular being here, and it's a 2-hour delay on opening the beach. Some people, no matter what we do, they're going to be upset, but then there's going to be a lot of people that are before it. So.
My thoughts that for 2 hours, I think it'd be worthwhile because Sunday morning is never very crowded. Sunday's a quiet
Sunday's
morning.
better, and it's early in the season. They're also, all of their participants have to park at Berry Sawmill.
Oh,
that's where they get their registration and they bus them back here.
Excellent. So
while some will probably figure out a way to get back here, maybe some of the side streets might get used, most of our public parking should be
I would imagine that more people will come to this just to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the crowds are good. Well, there's 3 to 1 participants to watchers. I work the Vineman there every year. Unbelievable the amount of people in town.
They're expecting 1,000 people the first year.
Yeah.
Participating, you mean?
Participating.
My feeling, I don't know the rest of the board members, I'm for anything that brings an attraction to Monterey and gets our name out there. And the buzzwords nowadays are Vineman, triathlons, all that. Peter, you have a comment?
Well, and that's what Creekside's all about. I mean, that is,
right.
You so see that long-term happening.
I don't know if you want any formal vote, but I think.
No, I just wanted to make sure that it was all right with the board, that we closed the beach that day until 1 o'clock in order to bring
Facilities Grant Committee?
Facilities has met several, and meeting almost weekly, based on trying to get everything pulled together as quickly as possible for Creekside, but generally, it's been determined based on the high water events that we're probably going to need to get permits on the beach this year for grading and cleaning up the beach, so we're starting to look into that with PRC, which is an expense that we're not planning on, but we're trying to identify what that's going to mean. Creekside is moving along. The facilities committee is in discussion with the folks at Cars Construction Service about trying to identify the overall scope of the hope, trying to break down the next week or two. We hope to already, but over the holidays with some delays. So it's been, information should be back. Facilities committee, I believe, on Wednesday of this week with the idea of being able to move ahead from there.
That's it?
That's it.
Thank
I
you.
want to mention that our next facilities meeting is actually this Wednesday at 11 a.m. The time is a little different than normal.
Are we going to be rewriting? I'm sorry, what?
Are we going to be rewriting contracts? We approved last month a contract.
No, we're just negotiating the fees on.
So it's always going to stay at the higher level, the contract?
No, it's gonna stay at the level we can afford.
But not legally, not by nobody signing it that way.
Well, the contract can be modified once you're in contract.
Aren't we in contract?
Yes,
So it's
and that's what we're doing now, is we're
modified.
modifying it.
But we don't need to sign it.
So, are you sort of legally modifying it, or just?
Yeah.
Of course.
Not
Yes.
sort of legally, it's legally.
Legally with council,
So is there a new number?
There will be.
there will be an answer.
Will it be after?
That's
Facilities
part of the
committee.
reason we're meeting on a special Wednesday, this Wednesday, 11 a.m.
So you haven't modified it yet?
It's a work in progress.
Okay.
As soon as we have a
Will
figure.
we have a number at the next board meeting?
Yeah, yes, we will.
And does that dictate all numbers that are related to it? Permit fees, I mean, usually, if you're doing a $100,000 project, you pay such a percentage for this, and if $1 million you're paying.
I'm sorry, remember we talked about soft costs and the permits and all, I believe all that's paid for.
We did all
So that's not gonna change, all that's done. All that's changing is the actual price of the construction. Everything else is done, the permits are done, everything's done. It's just we're negotiating the price of.
With just the general contract?
Yes.
But you have other little bits and pieces still going
They're
on?
all subcontractors under the one general.
Yeah.
So there's just one contract in terms of the actual construction.
Does Praxis report to that one contractor?
There's one construction contract. There are contracts that the district has with consultants who are providing consulting services that are different. So those fees are remaining as were projected.
So there's no change to those?
And there's a lot, actually there's quite a bit of work going on that is in addition to the contract. The district is not being billed for.
Really murky. Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, I resent that, Peter, that you would just say murky, like there's something going on that we're not trying to tell anybody. And it just, it's getting a little
If it's
old.
clear to you, if you're on the committee, so it's good.
It's very clear to me.
All the financials, Peter, are posted every month in a binder that Diane has. They're all fully available at any time. They're double checked by the committee members, the board directors of their own committee, and they're submitted to the CDC and the auditor's office every time we do a
Worrying.
Just what?
My job to worry about the end point. I'm not worried about the
It's
past.
okay to worry,
I'm
but
worried about-
it's okay to worry, but don't say things that are online. Thank
You
you.
say that.
Yeah, you did.
This murky is,
On Sunday.